do have an invitation for you though, Keith.
What's that invitation, Dennis?
I don't know whether there already is one, but I'm inviting you to join the Save Australia Party, because I reckon it's time we had a party that went to hell with this left-right dogma and said, right, it's time to get serious. We are facing, future generations are facing a really bleak future with the levels of debt that current generations are running up. And if I can, I'll just indulge myself. I know
Please,
I don't normally
you
do
can
that.
be the leader of the party, and I'll see where you go with this.
I'll just run through a couple of things. I'll tell you what I would do tomorrow as the Save Australia Party. I'd hit negative gearing on their head straight away, because it's inflating house prices and it's giving generous tax concessions to people who've already got enough money to throw it at
And now that I'm out of real
investment
estate, I probably agree with you.
All
yes.
right. I'd cut the public service, I reckon, by 25%. And I've seen great managers in private enterprise who would walk into that public service setup that we've got now. I understand from the figures I've seen, spending on public servants in Victoria alone, this is Victoria, has increased by over $500 million, over $500 million in the time that Andrew's government's been in power. That's just ridiculous.
Can I just pull you up on that point?
Yeah.
Every time this happens, every government comes in, and you look at the Kennett government, slash and burn the public service. You look at what happened with Tony Abbott, slash and burn. We put it out to private tender to do the same job, and it's more expensive. So don't tell me that, and it gets rid of jobs in the process.
Well, I'd stick with that though. I'd still cut the public service by 25%. I'd slash government costs further though by cutting out state governments. Get rid of them.
Totally agree on that one.
Federal government, and I'd have the local government. Where
no argument with me at all.
Okay, so they'd be gone. Enormous savings right across the nation.
And not duplication, and no arguments about demarcation disputes as which one is responsible.
Absolutely. The other thing I'd do, and it's funny you've led to that yourself with the last comment you made, the other thing I'd do is I would immediately have a very good look at the costs to the community of those sectors, the feel-good enterprises I would call them, that used to be government departments and now handed out to the private sector. Now they can be employment agencies and all those sorts of things, and good luck to some of the people. I could name a couple that have done very, very well out of this.
One lady that's made a lot of money out of it.
A lot of money.
And been very good at it too, very successful, not just here in England and beyond.
Exactly. Whether it's CFA, WorkSafe, DSE, wherever you look, and they're doing something worthwhile, yes, but they're costing an arm and a leg, and they've got their hand up for more all the time. And the problem is, whilst they make a contribution to the quality of our lives, at the same time, the cost that the community bearing to run those services is a cost that doesn't contribute anything in terms of dollar output to it. They don't create a product.
But you still got to have a back end administration somewhere. It's all very well outsource and do it. Yeah,
I'm talking about efficiencies to cut. The other thing I would do is I'd end the age of entitlement for politicians straight away, and we've seen it whether
we both agree with that one.
Rudd, Gillard, Hockey, the list goes on. It's just
I don't think you can say that about Rudd, Gillard. They're politicians that the system is involved. They didn't get appointments overseas.
I'm talking about the generous super that they get. No matter what job they do, what shape they leave the place in, they still ride off into the sunset, write a book or give some speeches and get paid a lot of money for it.
As Tony Abbott is doing. Whilst he's still in Parliament, by the way. With
a generous superannuation pay. The other one is, and you probably hate this one, this is the one would probably be more likely. How ridiculous is that? I acknowledge up front the Save Australia Party would be probably in a real lot of trouble if it introduced a coffee tax. So I'm talking about $1 a cup. Look, do it for 2 or 3 years, you'd nearly knock the damn deficit on their head in 3 years. $1 a cup, and bring it back to 50 cents a cup when
well, I'm a coffee drinker, but if it's going to go to the deficit and it's not going to go to the pollies and on the process, okay.
Only 2 more points, Keith. One is I would straight away shake up the school curriculum, and I would introduce into school so that kids learn from the very earliest age the value of $1 and the concept of cash flows that's so important to a small business. So they understand you can apply those principles that are applicable to a small business or any business.
You've been doing your homework here, Dennis.
Well, to government. I suppose I'm just thinking out loud, but to government, so that these kids become voters one day. And instead of thinking, I put my hand out and I vote because somebody puts something or says they're going to put that in my hand, to understand that before it comes in...
I agree with that.
Exactly. Or before it goes out, it's got to come in. And there's not that understanding. And the last one is national service for every kid, all right? It might mean they have to skip schoolies in Bali or on the Gold Coast and send them to boot camp instead. But give every kid in Australia an absolute clear understanding of the sacrifices that have been made for the quality of life and the democracy we have. as part of their curriculum and their learning at school, and take that with them on life's journey, and no exceptions. I don't want to hear anybody from another culture saying, sorry, not available for national service because we don't hold a, all right, see you later, free air travel back to wherever.
I don't have a problem with that one because it works very well in Turkey, but the only difference is in Turkey that they do go into fight. I don't expect that these kids that have only been trained go into fight. I think you've got your trained armed forces to do that, but it gives them a discipline which I think is sadly lacking in our community. So yes, I agree with a few of those points.
Gee, I'm shocked. Well,
you've done your homework last night. So Dennis, I think on that note we probably should call it quick.